Allison, you said you spent your weekend watching The Bear. I also watched season 3 of The Bear this weekend. And before we get into what you're going to talk about, I just want to say that I was sort of disappointed by season 3 of The Bear on FX.
I could see that.
I mean, it was just like, come on.
I think it was, it was such a bang of a show whenever it first debuted. It just like got you in the kitchen and it almost made you want to go work in a restaurant, even though it seemed so chaotic. And then season 2 was filled with a lot. And so there were high expectations. And like you say, when you have high expectations, that can sometimes lead to disappointment.
And that's what happened for me, at least with season 3 of The Bear. I mean, I would still recommend you watch it or whatever. It just was like, they got too artsy-fartsy with it. Like, just give me a show.
Well, I think it's because they started winning awards. Now they want to keep winning awards.
All right, so there was like kind of a common theme that was brought back. No spoilers or anything.
No, this is actually in one of the trailers that I saw for season 3 of The Bear, and I didn't fully understand it until watching it. But there is an episode where the main guy, Carmy, comes in and he's like the head chef of this place, and he wants to have non-negotiables. These are rules that you just kind of have to blindly follow. Nobody can question them. It's just the way it is. Well, then another guy comes in, Richie, and he's like, well, if you're going to have non-negotiables, I'm going to have non-negotiables. And some of them are kind of silly. Some of them make total sense. Like, you got to break down boxes before you put them in the dumpster. Like, we cannot be going into the dumpster to break down boxes. That can't be happening. But I was like, man, if you could just waltz into your job and say, this is my non-negotiable, everybody has to follow. It's a rule every single person, no matter where they are on the totem pole, has to follow. And you get to say, no questions asked, this is a non-negotiable. What rule would you implement at your workplace?
Oh, my gosh. 601-995-1017. What would your non-negotiable thing at work be? Have you been able to think of one, Allison?
I thought of one, and I changed my answer. I just thought of one right now that would be so good for the workplace. Every workplace, I think. Mm-hmm. No talking before coffee. No
talking before. That's not one that you would be able to follow, though. Like, remember how whenever we first started working here, how you used to be in the studio, like, as soon as you got here, and I made a non-negotiable, like, you're not allowed in here because you talk too damn much. Like, we're about to talk for 4 hours in a row. Like, there are no words that need to be said between us.
I feel like that's one that I need applied to me.
Yeah.
Of, like, it's just, do not talk to people before they finish their first cup of coffee, Allison. It's bad news. It's bad for you. It's bad for them. It's going to start the day off on the wrong foot. Yeah. So that's going to be my non-negotiable for myself going forward. Don't talk to people until they've finished their first cup of coffee.
I was going to say my non-negotiable was going to be no meetings on Friday. And
that's a good one, though.
It is a good non-negotiable, but I'll take it a step further. For me, and I have said it before, I love working here. Like, I am treated so well by management and everything. I've never had this experience before, but if I was allowed to make a non-negotiable for me would be, if you didn't tell me to do it before 10 a.m. on Thursday, it's not happening before Monday.
That's fair.
Like, your cutoff to tell me that I'm doing anything is 10 a.m. on Thursday, because I like to be able to work ahead, like, on a Thursday.
Yeah, of course.
And the dream is always to get done with the show at 10 a.m. on Friday and leave. Now, that never, ever, ever happens. But I would like to not be given any tasks after 10 a.m. on Thursday, so then I can plan out my day accordingly. I can work ahead on Thursday. I can stay late on Thursday if I need to, or just know what I'm going to have to get done as soon as 10 a.m. hits on Friday. So then, like, I'm not getting additional tasks at, like, I don't know, 9:30 on Friday morning.
There's no worse feeling than having to stay late on a Friday. There's no worse feeling than getting assigned something and being like, I'm not going to be able to leave on time today. Like, I'm going to have to stay late. This has to get done. So yeah, with your policy, that ensures that will not happen. You could stay late on Thursday just so you don't have to stay late on Friday.
Exactly. So what would your non-negotiable be at work? This is a common theme, a recurring theme on this season of The Bear on FX. So if you could just walk in with the clout and say, This is my new rule. We can't even talk about it. It's a non-negotiable.
Right. The whole point is you cannot negotiate it. Like, you show up. Mine was do not talk to anyone before they have finished their first cup of coffee. I need that rule for myself because I'm a talker.
Yeah. I had to make a non-negotiable that you're not allowed in the studio till 5:45. I need until 5:45 of peace and quiet in the office. And my guilty pleasure, Adrian, texted us about that and said, my guilty pleasure, Adam, is such a mess. I guess I would be locked out with Allie Poo in the mornings because before I started working from home a few years ago, I was the coworker who came in talking.
Yeah, it's not a good look, but it happens to the best of us, Adrian. I am so team Lauren on the non-negotiable. She says, just mind your business and do your job.
MYOB.
I think every workplace could use that non-negotiable because we all know that person who wants to be worried about what everyone else is doing.
Mine would be, if you want to tell me to do something, you better tell me Thursday before 10 a.m. If not, it's not happening until Monday.
Shonda, totally on your team. She adds, unless it's a real emergency, give me minimum 24 hours notice on anything. I hate last minute things.
Jesse's here with his non-negotiable. What would it be?
No more contact outside work hours.
Oh, I'm such a firm believer in that. I've told all my bosses here, and luckily, like, they've been super cool about it. But I'm like, I don't have my work email on my phone, and I'm not getting it because, like, it's not my business to know what's going on outside of my work hours.
Exactly right. They took away our phone stipend today, so I'm not gonna answer mine anymore. It was effective July 1st. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna answer.
Yeah, good for you.
I ain't answering, so
wow,
not gonna do it.
See, that's funny, Jesse, because I kind of feel the opposite the way you do. Like, I'm about to go on vacation in the middle of this week and next week, and I'm going to tell everybody, like, hey, if there's anything that pops up and you need me to answer a question, feel free to call me because I'll be with my family, and I feel like they will think I'm more important than I am at work.
That's wild.
Well, what's it called? Absence makes the heart founder, so you got to let them miss you a little bit first.
Thanks so much, Jesse. You have a good one.
Yes, sir.
If you've got a non-negotiable or you would like to make a non-negotiable for your workplace, call or text us at 601-995-1017.
I think we can leave it with Tammy's where she just says, quit whining.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's my non-negotiable. No whining. But nope, you're already negotiating a non-negotiable. No.